Um, I'm the director of the Charter Oak Cultural Center, and we're a multicultural arts center in Hartford. And we're housed in the oldest synagogue building in Connecticut, but we don't function as a traditional synagogue at all. We're a multicultural arts center, and our mission is to do the work of social justice through the arts. So a few years ago, I went to Washington, and I was actually there to be a part of a conference on food, on hunger. And while I was there, a man came over to me, and he said, I want to sell you this newspaper. It's a street paper. A street paper is a newspaper written by people who are or were homeless. And I'm from New York, and as I was talking to him, I remembered, oh, you know what? I've seen street papers in New York, and it turns out there are street papers in every major city. And I thought to myself, and I had never put this together before, why don't we have one in Hartford? So I did what I always do when I come up with any kind of idea. This was the best slide of all. I call Susan Campbell. She was a little pale that day, but I called Susan Campbell and I said, I have this great idea. Let's start a newspaper in Hartford. And she said, that's wonderful. And she went to the powers that be at the Hartford Courant, where she worked at the time, and they thought that it was not a good idea for her to be involved in the paper because it might kind of taint her objectivity. So we kind of put it on the back burner. In the meantime, I bought a very old, dilapidated house, and it was being renovated. And the whole time it was being renovated, I was living in it, and I was in a very, very bad mood. I had no kitchen sink, you know, everything but the kitchen sink. I had no kitchen sink, and I was washing my vegetables in the bathtub in the bathroom. I was filling my pots in the bathroom, and I was in a really, really bad mood for a long time. And while this was all happening, the Salvation Army decided that they didn't want to house the No Free Shelter. No Free Shelter is a shelter that's open during the coldest months so that everybody's assured of having a place to stay on those really cold winter nights. So Center Church was very generous, and they said, well, we'll house it. But this created an uproar among some of the business people who said, having a homeless shelter in the middle of downtown Hartford will actually negatively impact business. So we staged a demonstration one night. This is a daytime picture, but it was at night, in front of City Hall. It was a night when the City Council was meeting. And we set up a kind of a model tent city. And our message was, the thing that actually negatively impacts business is frozen dead people. And so we had this demonstration, and after the demonstration, I was walking home, and it was December 21st of 2009. It was a very cold night. It was the shortest day of the year. And I was walking back to my car, and I thought, you know, I'm going home to this house that doesn't have a sink. I don't know if I mentioned that to you. And I'm in a really bad mood about that. And I have a house to go to. I have warmth. I have a safe place to go to. And the people we're talking about do not have that. And it's really easy to say, hey, we had this demonstration, and pat ourselves on the back and say we did what we're supposed to do. But I knew then that that was not going to be enough, that we had to do something to create real change. So almost simultaneously, my friend Susan Campbell was in Nashville. And she actually was traveling around Tennessee a bit, and she was in a rural area. And a man came over to her with a street paper. And she started, as Susan does, because she doesn't just take the paper and pay for it, she engaged this man in conversation. She heard his life story. And she called me from a pay phone booth. Do you remember those? And she said to me, I don't care what anybody says, we have to do it. So we assembled a group of really smart, committed, wonderful people, and we began Beat of the Street. And it is Connecticut's only street paper. And we started by printing 100 copies at Charter Oak's office. And now, Beat of the Street looks like this. It's on newsprint, it's printed at a printer, and we have a circulation of 4,500, and we employ 11 people to distribute the paper each month. And we're very proud of this. So the next thing that happened was, out of the paper grew this project called Bots Pots. 2 years ago, we had an intern named Ethan Burke. That's Ethan. And he was just wonderful. He worked for us for the summer. And during the course of the summer, he went to New York one weekend. And he came back and he said, you know what? He said, I saw a man in need slumped over a pot of flowers in Manhattan. And I thought to myself, what if that pot had vegetables in it? What if it was not only beautiful, but functional? What if it nourished people and nurtured people? And we thought, oh my God, that's a great idea. So it took us a year, it took us till last year, and we got some seed money, and we were able to put 14 pots on the streets of Hartford. Now, we had lots of obstacles, so we had to go to Plan B a lot. For example, we wanted them right on the street, and that didn't work. So we put them on, well, this is Charter Oak, but we put them in front of churches, we put them in front of businesses that would allow us to do it. And these pots are filled with zucchini and tomatoes and peppers, and they're for anyone in need to pick. And we kind of expanded on Ethan's idea because we trained and hired people who are or were homeless to take care of the pots. And then we asked local artists to paint the pots. So it's food, jobs, and art that Bots Pots bring to Hartford. And by the way, Bots stands for Beat of the Street. This is Ann Cumberly painting a pot. So there's one other thing that came out of this whole Beat of the Street journey that we've been on. When we first started the newspaper, people on the staff of the newspaper said, you know what, we want to learn everything about the newspaper business, and we want to learn everything that will help us be advocates for issues having to do with homelessness. So we want to learn about social media, we want to learn graphic design, and we want to learn journalism, we want to learn all these things. So we started a school in September called the Botts Center for Creative Learning. And we offered just those classes, and they were taught by community leaders. We offered 15 classes starting in September. Each was 8 classroom hours, and the requirement was you had to take 12 classes at least to graduate. So on May 16th, 8 people graduated from the Botts Center for Creative Learning. 2 of them are here today with us. 3 of them are here today with us. The median age was 60. It was the most amazing ceremony I've ever been to in my life, and almost all of them are going to be taking advantage of an opportunity that was given to them by Goodwin College. Almost all of them will be taking a course at Goodwin in the fall, and if they do well, they have been promised by the president of the college that they will get full scholarships to attend Goodwin College as fully matriculating students. So, we're missing all the slides at the end. But our hope is that Bots Pots will become a national initiative. And I wanted to end with one other slide, which I'm just going to have to make up for you. And this is what was it?
You want me to try the slide?
Oh, yeah, you want to try to do that? I want to show you the sign that's in the pots. And basically it says, do you have that?
No, this is the last one.
Oh, okay. Basically, it says, well, these are such beautiful people, it's better to look at them anyway. It says, take me, I'm yours. These vegetables are brought to you by the Charter Oak Cultural Center with love. And really, you know what? It's all about love. It's all about love. But there's one other element here. At the bottom of the sign, it says, be bold for justice. And you know what? When it comes down to it, the only thing we have, the best resource we have, is each other. It doesn't matter what color our skin is or how large we are, or small we are, or what religion we are, what socioeconomic status we have. Our best investment for the future is in each other. Be bold for justice. Thank you.